me just make sure. Yep, I'm green. And you are like way too close to me. We need to adjust this a little bit. Okay. Hey, everybody. Sorry I'm about what, 3 minutes late. My assistant told me that there was dark sky out there and I had to check it out. They're talking about more rain and thunderstorms. Hello, Myra. Welcome. Um, So I had to go and, check the sky out before I went live. And I should be done before it storms and all that. So welcome. I'm so glad everybody is here that is here. And if you're watching the replay, welcome. So let's see what's going on. It's been a busy week. I think last Friday I made mention that on Saturday, two pieces of furniture out of my spare room was going to a new home. And so that the rest of that weekend, like Sunday and Monday, I got my spare room done and it looks beautiful. And yeah, so there's no more sleeping on my couch anymore. So I'm pretty stoked and it looks just really inviting and cozy in there. So I've been busy doing that and then of course working and all the stuff and coming up with stuff for my Thursday video that I did that posted yesterday. And then of course last night, great timing on working on the projects for tonight. So tonight's projects are going to be they're pretty easy. They're not difficult or hard. So, yeah, so we should be good as far as time goes on this. And as far as announcements go, there's not a whole lot. So I think we're going to do this under an hour. That's the goal, under an hour. So other than that, I think like I said, there's really not much to talk about, but I will make mention of projects tonight. So I thought about casing the projects in the catalog for the bundle that we're going to use. They're really the projects that they showed were So I did a little digging. I am part of Stamp Happy Academy. It's a community website that Dina Rico, Kelly Atchison, and Barb Mulkin had put together, and they put was it like they do each month? Each one of them does a live, and they'll do like card layouts and a color combination. So that's where I got my inspiration for the layouts. Now, as far as the color combinations go, you see this box right here? This is that color cube. You got your volume 1 and volume 2. Now, these aren't Stampin' Up. These were done by Sarah Renee Clark. She's in Australia. And what's awesome about these cards, you'll have a picture and then the colors that are in that picture are on there. And then on the other side, there's like the hex codes and stuff to it, which is pretty awesome. So I have those cards out. So you'll see that I came close on the colors from that card to match it up with the current Stampin' Up! Colors. So it was kind of funny. It actually, I think by just finding a layout per card and then finding a color combination actually made it quite quick and easy to come up with the designs for these cards. So I'm pretty stoked about that. So it is about 4.5 minutes into this. And like I said, there's not a whole lot going on. There's like a couple of things that I'll show you when I flip this over as to what's currently going on, and then we'll get started. So that way, this video isn't an extremely long video. So if you get motion sickness or whatever, kind of close your eyes and let me flip this, and I'll let you know when it's okay to open your eyes. Okay, flip that, and then I gotta hold on. Flip it. And let me kind of get this situated. So that way we're kind of straight here. And then get things kind of lined up. Because I do have my laptop sitting over to the side here. And so I'm just trying to get things lined up before we start. I think I can come out. Yeah, I can come out further. And there's like about a 7-second delay on this. Then move my lighting over so we got some good light. Okay, I think we're good. So what you see in the phone is different than what I see on my laptop. So I think we're good. We're going to stick this down so it stays put. Okay, so this is going to be really the last time that I talk about this portion of this promotion that's currently going on by Stampin' Up. It is bonus days, and in the month of July, you earn a $5 coupon for every $50 that you spend. If you order a couple of times during the month, for every $50, those coupon codes, they accumulate and you get those in an email within, like, say, 10 minutes after you submitted your order. What you want to do is you want to save those codes, because then in the month of August, you get to redeem them. And let's see, so August, I'm not aware of any promotions that are going on as of yet, but I can tell you that last week, well, not last week, this week, I think it was on Wednesday. Yeah, I think Wednesday, demonstrators got to see the PDF of the new holiday mini catalog that is coming out in the month of August, I think starting August 6th. Demonstrators will be able to pre-order items out of that catalog. And from what I see, everything in that catalog we can pre-order. Of course, there are limits during pre-order time. And then the catalog goes live to customers, I think, September 6th. Don't quote me. I don't have it up. So, but I did take a quick, of course, I had to look at the catalog when it was time. So all I can say is that there is a lot of awesome, cool items in that catalog. And yeah, so I'm kind of looking forward to pre-order and getting some new goodies to share. I love doing fall. There's plenty of fall stuff in there. And there's some cutesy Halloween stuff. And of course, there's Christmas in there as well. So kind of looking forward to that. So the month of August, you can redeem those coupons. Now, this here is the 2024 back to school tax holiday, and not all the states are part of this. Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Massachusetts, Mississippi, Missouri, New Mexico, Ohio, Puerto Rico, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, and West Virginia are part of this. And they all don't happen at the same time. Alabama's just passed. Theirs went from the 19th to the 21st. Arkansas's is coming up, not this weekend, but next weekend on the 3rd and 4th. Let's see. Florida is July 29th through August 11th, so theirs goes for quite a while. Massachusetts is in August. Mississippi already passed. Theirs was in July. Ohio, July 30th through August 8th. Here in Tennessee, ours will be July 26th through the 28th. Now, in this tax holiday, the items that Stampin' Up! Offers where they'll be tax-free are Stampin' Seals and their refills, the dimensionals, the foam adhesive strips and sheets, the mini glue dots, the liquid glue, the grid paper, the paper snips, the tear and tape adhesive, fine tip glue pen, all of the Stampin' Write markers, along with the two assortments of the watercolor pencils, the blender pens, the Stampin' Blends or alcohol markers. Um, all of that is tax-free during those dates there if you live in those states. Okay, so like I mentioned before, I did get the opportunity to see that new holiday mini, and Stampin' Up! Does have like a mailing program available to all demonstrators that if we want Stampin' Up! To send the catalog directly to you, that is open for the whole month of July. So if you are not working with another demonstrator and you would like one of those holiday minis and it's before July 30th, that's when I'm going to cut it off. Send me an email. It's in the description of this video. Let me know that you want that catalog or if you even want this one as well. And then I will add you to the list. Now, if it's after July 30th, and you still want it, that's fine. You know, send me an email. That just means I'm going to mail it directly to you from me rather than from Stampin' Up. By having Stampin' Up mail it to you, it is a little bit cheaper than what it would cost me to do it. But you know, if you're not working with a demonstrator, then and you want a catalog, just in your email have your full name and your complete mailing address, and I'll get, just let me know which one you want or if you want both, okay? So that's it on the catalogs. Let's see. The projects that I do, I offer free make and takes of the projects that I made. Now, I don't do the stamping. Whatever stamp set I'm using, I don't do any of the stamping. That is against Stampin' Up! Rules. So if you want to make the identical cards that I'm making, you would need the stamp set. And actually, this includes a hybrid embossing folder and a set of dies. So you would need the bundle to complete, well, yeah, you would kind of need the bundle to complete these. So what we're using the Seaside Wishes. So we have this photopolymer stamp set, and you have your sand dollars and your starfish and some really nice fonts in this. There is the hybrid embossing folder. And then there are the set of dies. Now, in the dies, the way this works, and I think we'll actually be die cutting for our first one. So the way these work, these pop in. Does it go this way or does it go this way? So you just place it over the image and it kind of locks in place. You just put your cardstock over it and then you run it through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine using the gray adapter plate. You run it through and then it'll emboss and cut it out all at the same time. Hello, Diane. Welcome. Okay, and then I will be using one of the dies from the Countryside Corners as well. So let me kind of move this all aside and let me bring out the stuff that I'm going to use for my first card. Okay, let's put my card sample off to the side. Now, like I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, the projects, the projects that I did last week, those were cased out of the annual catalog. For this, the projects they had in the catalog, they really weren't, I didn't really care for them too much. But I got my inspiration for these. I'm part of Stamp Happy Academy. It is a website that Dina Rico, Kelly Atchison, and Barb Mulliken had put together, and they do like monthly classes, with different card layouts and all that. And so that's where the inspiration of the layouts came from. And then as far as the color combination came from, I made mention that I have the color cubes. And so I went off of these and I matched up the colors as close as I could to our Stampin' Up! Colors. So for this first card, this was the inspiration on the colors that I had chosen for this. And so my card base, this is Summer Splash. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4.25. And I have a piece of Misty Moonlight. This measures 4.25 by 3 3/4. I have a piece of the 2023 to 2025 in color DSP. This is, let's see, it's this pack right here. And this measures 3.5 by 3.5. And I seem to be missing a piece that I need. And I think I'm going to, hold on guys, I may have to go grab another piece of cardstock really quick because, okay, actually, I know what I did. So I have a scrap piece of basic white. This is 1/4 of a sheet, and I'm going to be using that embossing folder, that hybrid embossing folder, along with the die for that, because there is a piece I'm going to need out of that. Usually I try to do like all of the tedious stuff like the heat embossing and the die cutting ahead of time, so that way it saves some time. But this one, I don't think I did that, only because I think I wanted to show you how that embossing folder works. Okay, so here's my card base. I folded and burnished that. Then I have my piece of Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to adhere this down. And this is going to fit right, and kind of center this, like so. And then on this piece here, I'm going to do some stamping on that. So I have my Summer Splash ink and my early espresso. And let me pull out the stamps that I need for this. So for this one, I need my large starfish. And then there's this other stamp here that's got all these little spots on it. And then I want the greeting that says, "You absolutely made my day." Okay, put that aside. And let's get some blocks here. And then this one here. Okay. So on this piece right here, I'm going to take my Summer Splash ink and my starfish, and I'm going to stamp that right there. Okay, and then close this up, and then my early espresso and all these little spots. I'm going to stamp it once and kind of stamp off again, and I'm just going to put some random spots on here. Okay, and then I'll set that aside. Actually, I can take this and I can adhere this now. I'll add some adhesive, and then I will take this and light in the camera, move up a little bit, and then I'm going to add this piece right here like so. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside. This strip, this is a scrap strip of wild wheat. This measures 3/4 by 1, 2, 3, about 5 1/4, but we don't need it that long. So I'm going to bring in the greeting. And I'm going to try and get this straight. So, okay, so this piece is pretty wide. So I'm going to trim this down some. And I'm going to bring in, where is it? There it is. My little guillotine trimmer. This Stampin' Up! Offered this a while back when we had celebration and demonstrators were able to get it. One of the things that I want to do, a little tip, let me grab a piece of cardstock. So when I have a little strip like this, it can make it a little bit easier for me to just cut a little bit of the excess off on these two side edges. I'm going to bring in a piece of cardstock so I can take this and butt it up right up against it. So then that way I could trim it down. Make sure that it's not under this cardstock. Okay, we'll trim that, and then we'll turn it over. This is what all those scraps are really good for things like this. Move it up just a little bit. Okay. And then the rest of it, as far as trimming it, is easy. I'm just going to trim either end. Like so. Okay, we can put that aside. All right, so now let me bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, and then for the hybrid embossing folders, what you will need is your #1 base plate and then the gray #4 plate. Okay, so there are stamps that you could stamp the fan dollar and then cut it out, but I'm just going to leave it the plain white. I'm not going to do any stamping. So again, this sits right here, and you'll know it's in place when it kind of locks and it doesn't move. And then I'm going to take my piece of cardstock and let me make sure I got what I need. Let me turn, let's do it like this. Okay, and then I'll close it up. Put this here. Put it down, and then just crank it through. And I apologize for all the shaking. My camera holder is attached to this same table that I'm working on. Okay, and then this is what we have after we cut it. So I'll get rid of this. And then here we have 3 of our sand dollars. So for this project, I'm going to be using just the large one. And then these other 2, we're going to use this on our, well, let me see, wait, is it our second card? No, for our third card. So I'm going to put those aside with my third card so I don't lose them. Okay, and then we'll get this out of the way. Okay, so let's bring this in. Now for this sand dollar, I want to give it a little bit of dimension, so I'm just going to curl the edges of it so it's a little bit cupped. And then I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. And I'm going to add 5 to this, so I'm going to go around the outer part of it and then in the middle. I hope everybody had a good week. Seems like the weeks are just going by really, really fast. I feel like I just did my Friday Night Live, and here we are, another Friday later. Okay, so for this sand dollar, I'm going to place this right over here. And then for my greeting, the other thing I got here that I'm going to put on, let me bring in the embellishments that I'm going to use. So I'm going to use some linen thread. And I'm going to create a large bow. So let me get my snips here. And I'm going to cut. I think when you do anything nautical like, I think the linen thread is just perfect to go with it. And I want to create a large loop bow. Make it a little bit smaller. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my seal, and I'm going to add some right here. And I'm going to add, where's my glue? I'm going to add, and see where the adhesive is. So I'm going to put my bow right there. And then on my sentiment strip, now this is going to lay right on top of this. So since this shell is already popped up, I'm going to add adhesive to this side. And then I'm going to take 2 of my dimensionals and I'm going to put it on this end here. And then I'll take this and I'll place that like right over the knot, like so. Okay, and then another embellishment that I'm going to put on here. These are the pecan pie and clear ribboned adhesive back dots. That's a lot of words for a name for an embellishment. This is what they look like. They actually look like they got little ribbon lines in them. And let's see, I'm going to bring in my take your pick tool and I'm going to add some of these clear ones. Whoops, I did pick one up. Okay, I'll add one up here. And then we'll take 2 small ones. And I'll add those. Put one there and then one more. These embellishments, these are new. You can find these in our online exclusives on the website. Okay, and then we'll put one there. And then let me get my snip. I'm going to trim the ends of my linen thread. Okay, so let me move some of this stuff out of the way. There is our first card. And actually on all these cards, we're not adding any Wink of Stella. I think this is the second week in a row. No Wink of Stella on the cards. So there's our first one. Let me put that aside. And then I will bring, and again, this is the color inspiration. This is the cards that are from the color cube. And like I mentioned, it gives you the colors here. These colors are kind of in the picture itself. And then on the back, it'll have the name of the colors, and then it also has the hex codes for them as well. So I just went with whatever was kind of close to the colors off of this card. Now the beige, I didn't use beige or the vanilla because it just would have looked weird on this sand dollar having it a different color other than white. So let me put this stuff aside, okay? And then let me bring in my chamois and clean these stamps really quick. It's a well-loved chamois. Okay. All right. So let me bring in the stamp set because we're going to need for our next card. We're going to need the greeting that says, sometimes the simplest things mean the most. Pull that one out. And then I'll put these back. See this one? Goes up here. This desk is not very big, and I don't know about you, but I have a hard time trying to craft when everything is like, it feels like it's all closing in on you. Okay, so I'm going to put this on my block, and I'll get these out of the way. Okay, so for my second card, this one has some really nice layers on this one. And I'll show you the inspiration card. Now on all three of these projects, like I said, the layouts of the cards I did get off of the Stamp Happy Academy website. I am part of that group. It is a paid subscription. And then the inspiration for the colors come from these cards from the color cube. Now for this one, when I looked at these colors here, the colors I saw was Pebbled Path, Smoky Slate, of course the white, our basic beige, and then for the taupe I saw Crumb Cake in that color combination. So I'll put that aside, and my card base is Smoky Slate. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Pebbled Path that measures 4 1/4 by 4 1/8. I have a piece of basic white. This measures 5 by 3 3/4. And then for this one, I had embossed it this time. Instead of using the die with the embossing folder, I just took the cardstock and put it in here, kind of lined it up to where the cardstock would have most of the sand dollars on it, and I embossed it. Nice background for our card. Then I have, let's see, from the Neutrals 6x6 DSP. That's this pack right here. This piece measures, hold on, let me get that out of the way. This piece measures 4 by 2, and I went with the pattern that's got the circles on it. Then I have a piece of crumb cake that measures 3 by 3, a piece of basic beige that measures 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then out of scrap, a piece of scrap, a piece of basic white scrap. Yeah, no, what am I saying? Cardstock. Okay, back up. Let's start this over again. Out of a piece of basic white, I die cut and embossed one of the smaller sand dollars, and then there is a detailed die right here. Where's my set of dies? Let me show you. So in here you have two different sized pieces that do the detail. You got the 2 starfish, of course, the 3 sand dollars, and then there's some, I don't know if you want to call that seaweed or kelp, or you got 3 pieces that will cut that out as well. Okay, so to start, I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Okay, and then my piece of pebbled path is going to fit on here. So we want a little bit of the border of the smoky slate on either side. Okay, and then I'm going to center that, my card base. So, and then our embossed piece here. And it's a shame most of this is going to be covered up, but some of it does peek through from the other layers. And then this will go over on top of that. We'll kind of center that as well. Okay, and then our DSP layer. Add some adhesive to this. And I'll add this off to the left-hand side, and I'm going to center it from top to bottom. Like so. Okay, and then on this basic beige piece right here, I want to bring in my Pebbled Path ink. And I'm going to ink up this greeting. And then I'm going to stamp this in the bottom right-hand corner. Okay. I'll close this up. And then I'm going to adhere this down to my crumb cake piece. Like so. Okay, and then I'm going to add some seal to the back of this. Lots of layers on this card. And then I'm going to center it on between the top and the bottom of this, but it's going to be more off to the right. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to place this right here. Okay, and then I'm going to take my adhesive. I'm going to add some right here, and then this detailed die cut. I'm going to add that right here. And then I'm going to bring in my linen thread again, and this time I'm going to wrap this around my hand like 3 times. Like so. I got to get my hand out of it. And let me get my scissors. And then I'm going to trim this. Get my finger out of there. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to keep all these loops and everything together, and I'm going to tie it into a knot. And try to get it as much in the middle as I can, like so. And then this is going to lay down, so I'm going to bring in my steel, and I'm going to lay this right across that. And then for my sand dollar, I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the other one. I'm going to kind of curve the edges in on that. And then, let's see, when I lay this down, I'm going to put my dimensionals on either side, since that knot sticks up a bit. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to lay it right over that. Okay. And then, of course, we need to embellish it. So I'm going to bring in these mouthful of embellishments, pecan pie and clear ribboned adhesive back dots. So on this one, I'm going to use both of the colors on this one. So I'll put the pecan pie there, and then I'm going to use two of these smaller ones. So I'll add one kind of like down here, and I'll actually take a bigger one and I'll stick that right in the middle of that die cut piece. Okay, so there is our second card. Really love how this came out. It's just very clean and simple looking, and really the grays and these tans go very well together. See, I can't talk. Camera's rolling, so of course I jumble up on my words, and yeah. And again, all the inspiration on the colors came from this card right here. Okay, so let me get my stamp cleaned off, and then let's do our third card. And our third card is going to be a fun fold. I was thinking about doing all the cards for all my cards being fun folds, but yeah, it was getting kind of late, so I figured, okay, let me at least have the one fun fold. And I really thought this one was neat. So let me pull out pieces I need for this. Kind of set my sample card aside. Okay. And I'll put my pieces down right here. And you can see this is the card that I used for my inspiration. And so for this one, I need the greeting that says, "Your friendship is the best gift." And I'll take this one and put this one away. Any stamp set that has anything nautical tied to it, I am like all over those sets. I love anything nautical. I especially love my lighthouses. Okay, so for this card, you can see this is the card that I'm using now. This color here, they call it a rose tan. Now, I could have opted for like Flirty Flamingo, but Flirty Flamingo seemed like really bright, and it would have worked with this, but I decided to use this is Petal Pink. So I thought this color actually tied in with the rest of these really, really well. So Let me put this on a block. Okay, so for my card base, I have a piece of, this is basic beige, measures 8.5 by 5.5. I scored it at 4.25, and then I also scored it at 2 1/8. So I'm going to fold my card in half and I'll burnish that. Now, where I have the folds, I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it back. And I'll burnish that. Okay. And then I have a piece of that DSP, but this is a pattern that is out of the Settles pack. And this is the Petal Pink. Okay, and then I'm going to take this piece and actually I'm going to add my adhesive now to this flap right here. And I'm not going to go too close to the edge because there is going to be a border. So I'm going to add some at the top there and some there. Now you could put it on the paper, however, you don't want it to be on the part that's going to overhang on this piece. So this is why I'm adding my seal directly to this flap on my card base. Okay, and then this piece, I don't think, did I tell you what this size was? This one measures 5.25 by 3. And I'm going to lay this on top here and kind of look to see if I have like an even border all the way around. And I'll press that down. Okay, I'll set that aside. Then I have a piece of pecan pie. This measures 6.5 by 4.25, and I have scored it at 3 1/4. So I will fold and burnish this piece. And then for the inside of this card, now this card is going to go this way, okay, because we're going to adhere it this way. So you want to make sure now it opens the opposite way. So in here, I have a piece of basic beige. This measures 4 by 3. I'm going to add my adhesive this. And I'm going to add it into this piece right here. Now you can either before or after, you can stamp whatever greeting you want in here, or you can just leave it blank and do whatever writing you want to do in that. Okay, so now this is going to fold this way, so I want to take my adhesive and I want to put it on this side. Okay, and then this is going to fit. I'm kind of eyeballing this to see if it's kind of even, because if this piece touches this, it's going to stick. This adhesive is really sticky. Okay, actually, I want it in more. Like I said, it's very sticky and I need it to go in just a little bit more. Okay, now I could stick it down. So the card will open like this. Okay, then I have another piece of that paper this is the crumb cake piece. This comes out of the neutrals pack, and I'm going to use this side here. So I'm going to add my adhesive to the back of this. Hey Bonnie, welcome. Hey Terry, did I say hi to you? I probably didn't. Hello, everyone. Okay, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to place this on the top of my pecan pie card. Okay, now let me set that aside. And again, from before, when I did the embossing and I did the die cutting for the larger sand dollar for our first card, these two, we're using these two pieces here. Okay, so I'm going to set those aside. And then I have my little, this is my little greeting piece. So this is a scrap of petal pink. And then I die cut using this die here from the Countryside Corners. And then for this one, I'm using my pecan pie ink. And let me get rid of that. And let me make sure my stamp's a little bit straighter on here. Now this is just going to fit on this piece. I'm going to try and get like on my tippy toes here. You can see it just fits on there. Okay. And then, of course, you know, we need our linen thread. So this time I'm going to make a double-stranded bow. I'm going to double it up. And I'll trim it. Make my bow. And I want this to be big enough because, and I need to make it a little more even. This is going to go behind our greeting, just like on our first one. This one's going to go behind our greeting as well. Make sure I got it wide enough so that way you can see it. Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to snip that loop, and then I'm going to trim this a little bit more. Whoops. And I just took my thread, instead of throwing it into my trash bin, I just threw it on the floor. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my two sand dollars. And again, I'm going to kind of bend these a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to grab my dimensionals. And I'm going to add 3 to this since this isn't our really large one. And then I'll add 2 onto the back of that one. Okay, and then the way we're going to place our greeting over it, I'm going to need another dimensional, and I want it on this end. And then we're going to add some of our seal on that end. Okay, so let's move this out of the way and bring in our card. So I'm going to take my larger one here and I'm going to place that about here. And then this one will go up here. And then so I have some adhesive on the middle of this. And I'm going to take my bow and I'll kind of stick that kind of like in the middle, like so, right behind it. Okay, and then the tricky part, I want to try and get some adhesive over the top of this, and I don't think that's going to work. So I'm going to bring in a little piece of Scotch tape. And I'm just going to put that on the back so that kind of holds it down. Like so. And tear this a little bit or cut it. But a little bit of it's overlapping the edge of the cardstock. I don't want to see that. And now to get the tape off my fingers. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little more of my seal over the top of that. Okay, take off our paper backing. And then I'm going to take this and we're going to add this right here, like so. Now let me trim this just a little tiny bit. Okay, and then of course we need our embellishments. So this time I'm just going to use the pecan pie ones. And I'm going to add a larger one up here. What I like about these pecan pie ones, they look more like a champagne color, which I think is pretty cool looking. And again, these are new. These are in the online exclusives. And these are, I believe, it's part of one of the suites. I mean, you can get everything that's in a suite, you can get it individually. So you don't need the suite to get the embellishments, but these embellishments are part of one of the suites. Okay, and I'll put that one down. And there's our last card, our fun fold. And the name of this is a reverse panel fun fold. So the card opens up like that and like that. Very, very cool. And like things crooked. You need to fix that. We don't like crooked. Yeah, that doesn't need to be crooked. Okay, so and again, this came off of, the color inspiration came off of this. All right, so the cards that we made, let me bring them in. So here was our first card. I think these colors really worked well together on this card. Okay, and then we have our more neutral color using the grays and the beiges. And then here's our reverse panel fun fold. And again, you can stamp a greeting in here, or you can even stamp something on here if you wanted to also. And just folds up like that. So if you like the projects and you would like the free card kits, now I cut like all the card bases and all the cardstock pieces along with the DSP. And I also give you some of the linen thread as well. For the stamping, really like these images back here, you would need the stamp set along with the greetings, but like these sand dollars, there's no stamping on these, so I could die cut those for you as well. But again, if you don't have the stamp set, or you really weren't looking to get the stamp set, but you would still like the components of what's here, you can use another stamp set that you have. Now, to get the free card kits, if you place a minimum $35 order in my online store, by midnight next Wednesday, July 31st, which is the last day of the month, um, I will send you this free card kit. And let's see, again, I'll go through, let me go through these comments and see if there's any questions at all. Let's see. Don't have a lot of comments. Okay, Yvonne's here, and Diane, and Myra, and Terry. Hello, Bonnie. The page of, oh, you're talking about the page, oh, you're talking about Stamp Happy Academy? Yeah, I can let you know about that. Yeah, that's a website that Dina Rico, Kelly Atchison, and Barb Milliken had joined together to do that website. And there's like two different levels on it. There is one where, so what they do is each one of them has an online class, like a card kit and all that, where um, their PDFs they put on the website. So for me, it's like, okay, if I want to make those projects that were in their monthly classes, they have the PDF that I can have access to, and I can create it. There's an option if I wanted to buy, the pre-cut cardstock and all that. But since I have all that stuff, I don't need to do that part. But the PDF is awesome. And then there's another option you can get in addition to it, or you could do it separately. And that's there. They each one of them they go live on YouTube. And what they do is they create like two different layouts, and then they'll make like, I think like about two or three cards using that layout, and then one of the cards will be like a color combination. Um, so I have the whole, the whole I have both of them online. So I can send you, yeah, I think what I'll do is when I have a chance, I'll send you the link to Stamp Happy Academy, and then you can read what the options are, and if you're interested, you can register for it right there. Um, the color cubes. You're welcome, Myra. Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, Terry. Okay, everyone. So I guess I think that's it. Again, if you would like the new holiday mini catalog, or even the annual catalog, let me know. My email is in the description of the video. Also, bonus days. This is actually the last video. I guess I'll be talking about it because it'll be done on Wednesday the 31st. So bonus days, again, every $50 that you spend, you earn a $5 coupon that you can redeem in the month of August. I did make mention about the catalogs. Also, in the description, there's also a link if you would like to be on my newsletter list. On my newsletter, I typically do it near the beginning of the month, and it'll have the schedule of my videos, what products I'm going to use in those videos. Uh, In-person classes, I do an in-person class every month, so that information will be there. There is another in-person that I do. It's a monthly Christmas card club. Um, I don't think anybody's really had an interest in wanting to do the Christmas cards other than Yvonne. Um, so I kind of put it on hold for both July and August. So I think in September, when our holiday mini catalog comes out, anybody that's local, if you're interested, um, I can send you the info on that. Basically, I have a lot of Christmas themed sets. It's you got snowflakes and Santa Claus and religious and like baked, like cookies and gingerbread and things like that. You basically supply your own cardstock and DSP and embellishments, and you can use my stamp sets. And of course, well, the stamp sets, the dies, the punches. So yeah, if you're local to me, you would come here and we would gather and we would make the cards. And the whole idea with that is, if you're going to make a lot of Christmas cards instead of waiting till like November, you can do a little bit throughout the year. So again, I kind of put it on hold for July and August because there really wasn't any interest in it. So I will start that in September. I think when the new catalog comes out, there'll probably be more interest in that because more people probably be thinking about wanting to do like fall and winter type projects. I know I'm looking forward to that. Also in my newsletter, any promotions or anything that Stampin' Up! Has going on, as long as I know about it at the time when I do my newsletter, there may be another newsletter that I send in the event that they come up with a surprise promotion, something like free shipping or whatever, which we don't really know about some of these things in advance. So that would really be the only other time. I don't want to bombard you with a whole bunch of emails, so I wouldn't do it like every day. Honestly, I wouldn't have time to do it like every day on top of everything else. So yeah, so if you want to be a part of my newsletter, there's a link for it in the description of the video. You just click on it and then you enter your name and your email address, and then I will then, if it's before this month is over, I will send you what I sent at the beginning of this month. And then, of course, when August rolls around, I will send that to you as well. So, other than that, I think that's it, everyone. I covered everything about, if you want the free card kits, what's going on with the catalogs, the promotion, and all that. So, I will see you guys next Friday. Now, I don't know what I am doing yet. Usually, when I go to sit down to do my newsletter, that's usually when I make the decision as to what sets that I'm going to use as far as my Friday night lives, my throwback Thursdays, and there's no holiday in August, so there won't be any special holiday. But we do have my monthly Christmas card inspiration that will be on Thursday the 1st. Now, the one I did on July 1st, I did that one sheet wonder. Um, huge, huge, huge interest in that one. That video has over 5,000 views, and a lot of people are really, really liking that video. And because of that video, I've seen humongous growth on my YouTube channel. So thank you for everyone who's subscribed to my channel, like the videos and watch them and all that. I appreciate it. Um, so usually, yeah, when I do my newsletter, that's when I sit down and I plan out what I'm going to do. Now, what I'm thinking of doing, and somebody suggested this, and I think it's a great idea. Stampin' Up! Over the years have had lots of stamp sets that have snowflakes, and she suggested that a one sheet wonder would look good with snowflakes. So I'm thinking I'm going to do another one sheet wonder using a snowflake stamp set, but I'm going to do the layout of the bases of the card a little bit different. I'll stamp it a little bit differently so you can see another aspect of the one sheet wonder. And so stay tuned that I should have that out on the 1st. Now, when I do that, I may record that as a live in private mode and then post it on there, because doing that to stop and kind of edit the video, I might as well, it's so much easier to do it like this. You just do it, it is what it is, and there's no editing to it at all. So okay, so other than that, everybody have a great night, and hope you have a wonderful weekend. Tomorrow, well, I'll be cleaning the church, and then hopefully after that, we're going to be doing a whole lot of crafting because we got a whole lot of projects to kind of catch up on. So until next time, everyone, you have a blessed one, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.